In other news, President Biden has given Pope Francis the nation's highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom with Distinction. The citation describes Francis as a light of faith, hope, and love that shines brightly across the world. It's the first and only time Mr. Biden has made the award with distinction. The president and the Pope spoke by phone today. They were to have met this weekend in person at the Vatican, but Mr. Biden canceled the trip in order to focus on the deadly Los Angeles wildfires.
Joe Biden awards Pope Francis with highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and he did this over the phone. As you just heard in the video, Biden canceled his trip to Rome due to the wildfires. And I believe it's very possible that this is because he's about to step down and Kamala is about to replace him. We are going to see Kamala Harris become president very soon. Notice here what the article goes on to say. President Joe Biden awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom with distinction, the nation's highest civilian honor, to Pope Francis on Saturday. That's the Sabbath, the true day of worship. The medal was scheduled to be presented to the Pope in person in Rome during what was to be Biden's final overseas trip of his presidency, but Biden canceled his travel plans so he could monitor the wildfires in California. Instead, Biden bestowed the award on the Pope during a phone call in which they also discussed efforts to promote peace and alleviate suffering around the world. Now that's significant because we know that 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 tells us that when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come. Notice it says sudden destruction. That means we could see a climate change Sunday law suddenly, which could lead to climate confinement. I've been thinking about the dream that many of you heard in the 2025 Kamala prophecy video. And in that video, the dream stated that Kamala was in confinement. Could it be that the Lord is telling us that in the dream, she represents the church because she is a woman, and how we will be in confinement because of climate change? We have the winter storm on the East Coast and the South. We have the fires burning on the West Coast. And we know that Kamala Harris is also upset by the fact that burglars are possibly trying to get into her home. Headline says, Los Angeles police rush to burglary at Kamala Harris' home as looters and arsonists run amok in California. So in other words, people are looting homes and breaking into homes as a result of the fires, which could lead to a confinement or such a declaration of national emergency or martial law, which would require individuals to be confined in their homes. Notice what the article goes on to say. Cops rushed to Kamala Harris' evacuated Brentwood home on Saturday to reports of a potential burglary as Los Angeles lawlessness spiraled amid the city's worst fires in history. 2 people were ultimately arrested for breaching curfew after cops found no evidence they were outside the vice president's home to commit robbery. However, the incident speaks to the fear that is gripping neighborhoods that have been ravaged by the monstrous fires. Looting is now running rampant as the flames continue to destroy homes across the city of Angels. 29 people have been arrested for looting in evacuation zones around the Los Angeles area. So you're seeing the mayhem that is caused as a result of this situation, which could lead to the declaration of national emergency or martial law, where we would be confined in our homes. For a biblical point of reference, let us go to Joshua chapter 6 and verse 1. And we're turning here because we know that prophecy has told us that a city is going to fall in these last days on the dark day. Many of you are familiar with the 7 judgments, which are all to transpire on the same day once Sunday is enforced by law in America. So Tampa is going to be flooded. Just as we know that a city, the Tampa Bay, is going to be flooded, we must look for the examples in Scripture where a city falls. And Jericho is a city that fell, and when that city fell, everyone was confined in their homes. Notice what it says, Joshua chapter 6 and verse 1, it says, "Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in." So in other words, before Tampa falls, we will be confined in our homes. So please make sure you get all the things that you need so that when you are stuck at your home, you have everything that you need in advance before the crisis happens. Now is not a time to be fearful, but God has told us these things before they happen so that we may be prepared for the crisis. But the most important preparation that you can make is to be right with Jesus Christ and to be surrendered to him as he reveals his perfect will for you concerning your life. And as we are confined in our homes, I would encourage you to avail yourself of the opportunity to write down all the contacts that are in your phone that you need, the individual's phone numbers. Have a notebook, write those things down. Make sure that you take time to pray, that you take time to study, that you may understand what God is doing and what he is saying at this time in Earth's history. All the studies that we've been giving, I pray you've been writing these things down, because soon there'll be no internet, no radio, no television, no power, and you won't be able to watch these things on YouTube, but you can study these things in your word if you have it written down. So please avail yourself of the opportunity to do that before the crisis breaks loose. What's also very interesting to me is that Joe Biden is giving the highest honor to the Pope that he has not given to anybody else, but only to the Pope, right before he's about to step down and a climate Sunday law is about to be enforced. Brothers and sisters, these things are planned. We are watching the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Please make sure to like, comment, and share this video with everyone you know.